In this video, I want to dive into the topic of clean eating. To start, if clean eating works well for you and you find it sustainable, that's perfectly okay. Nutrition is highly individual, and the issues I'll discuss may not apply to everyone. However, there are certainly better approaches to dieting that could benefit many. Despite its drawbacks, clean eating remains extremely popular in the fitness community. This was highlighted in a recent survey in the latest Mass Research Review, involving over 1,000 young people aged 14 to 24. Interestingly, 88% viewed clean eating positively, with 71% seeing it as entirely healthy. So clearly, many still consider clean eating a good idea. On the surface, it seems reasonable. Eliminate junk foods and eat clean, nutritious foods. But as we'll see, the devil is in the details. The first issue is the lack of consensus on what clean eating actually means, which has practical implications. Ask a typical bodybuilder, and they might list 6 or 7 foods like chicken, egg whites, brown rice, sweet potato, oatmeal, and protein powder. Even with this short list, contradictions arise. Clean eating is often defined by being unprocessed, whole, or natural, yet protein powder and oatmeal, which are highly processed, frequently make the list. While brown rice is labeled clean for being less processed than white rice, it's unclear why sweet potatoes are considered cleaner than white potatoes, as neither is significantly processed. White potatoes, in fact, are incredibly satiating per calorie, making them excellent for fat loss. Thus, what counts as clean varies depending on who you ask and their diet philosophy. If you're on keto, you might consider all carbs dirty. Paleo followers might exclude grains and dairy, but include meats and veggies. This inconsistency makes clean eating hard to define and can lead to practical dietary issues. The second problem with clean eating, especially for fat loss, is that it can be inconvenient. Strict adherence to clean eating often means avoiding social events and special occasions because of dietary restrictions. This can lead to missing out on life experiences unnecessarily, as science shows that a flexible diet, allowing for some processed foods, can be just as effective for fat loss as long as you're in a caloric deficit and consuming enough protein. In fact, research suggests that flexible dieting is often more effective than rigid clean eating for long-term fat loss, leading to problem number 3. Clean eating isn't the most effective long-term fat loss strategy for most people. A study compared 2 groups on the same diet, except one group excluded bread. Surprisingly, both groups lost the same amount of fat, but more participants in the no-bread group dropped out. Over time, making many foods off-limits makes dieting harder to stick to. Other research supports this, showing that flexible control, being adaptable with meal scheduling and viewing foods non-dichotomously, is associated with lower body mass index, less binge eating, and better long-term weight loss maintenance compared to rigid control. The fourth issue with clean eating is its potential to lead to disordered eating. Labeling foods as good or bad can lead to psychological issues like orthorexia and other eating disorders. Research shows that rigid dieting strategies like clean eating are associated with eating disorder symptoms. Another study found that inflexible eating beliefs and high rigid restraint were linked to recurrent binge eating. Acknowledging that no food is inherently bad is a good starting point for a healthier relationship with food. Clean eating may not be as healthy as it seems. While there are certainly foods that promote good health and others that can lead to health problems if overconsumed, the dose makes the poison. Even highly nutritious foods can be harmful in excessive amounts, and even junk foods can be fine in moderation. Eliminating food groups without careful monitoring can lead to nutrient deficiencies, as shown in studies by Kleiner and colleagues, where bodybuilders often fell short of recommended daily intakes for several essential nutrients. So what do I recommend? Instead of excluding bad foods, focus on including more nutrient-dense foods like fruits, vegetables, grains, and healthy fats. Don't feel compelled to eliminate all junk foods or any specific foods entirely. Whether your goal is health, fat loss, or both, a balanced approach is key. Remember, fat loss ultimately comes down to a net caloric deficit over time and adequate protein intake. For some, tracking caloric and macronutrient intake using apps like MyFitnessPal can help ensure they stay within their targets while allowing flexibility. For others, an auto-regulated approach focusing on nutrient-dense, minimally processed foods, consistent meal patterns, and regular progress tracking can be equally effective without the hassle of meticulous tracking. If you'd like a detailed breakdown of these practical recommendations, let me know in the comments, and I can make a dedicated video. For now, I'll leave it here. Thanks for watching, leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video.